Picture the scene, okay? It's 1978 and LEGO released a bombshell set that would change their toy brand forever. Set number 600, the police car. Now this seemingly innocent set with only 23 pieces heralded the way for a complete transformation of the way that children, and sometimes adults like me, interacted with LEGO. The reason for this? The first ever minifigure. Ooh. Sure, we'd had these buildable figures that appeared between 1974 and 1978, and there was even a policeman that got a little bit closer to that minifigure design that we know and love today, but he didn't even have any facial design or moving arms, just these little nubs on the side. And funnily enough, it's affectionately titled Old on Brickset, which I love. There were also these HO 1 to 87 scale cyclists from the 1950s, one of which I coincidentally have from the oldest LEGO theme that I own, Town Plan. But that set, police car number 600, was the first minifigure with the now classic design. Having read the title of this video, you're probably wondering now where I'm going with all of this and how this comes back to Harry Potter. Well, calm down, okay? I will tell you. After this massive step for minifigure design, LEGO's next huge minifigure-based change was in 2001, and in the 10 years prior to this, unique head prints had been introduced, first with Captain Redbeard, kind of LEGO's mascot in the 1980s, and the much less descriptively named Pirate Female minifigures and the other ones that you see in Pirate packs from the classic Pirates line. But 2001 was the year when LEGO jumped into the world of dual-sided printing for headpieces. Oh, wow! Their first outing for these double face prints can be seen here in set 4702 Final Challenge from the original 2001 run of the Harry Potter sets. The final challenge depicts the scene towards the end of the Philosopher's Stone book, and film of course, where Harry encounters Professor Quirrell deep beneath Hogwarts Castle at the culmination of his search for the titular stone. Quirrell reveals himself to be a pawn of Lord Voldemort, unwrapping his turban and revealing the evil face on the back of his head. Okay, pause for just 1 second. Before we get into this dual-moulded headpiece, I would be remiss if I didn't even briefly mention another unique element in this set. This reflective sticker that represents the Mirror of Erised, which is a mirror that shows Harry the thing that he desires the most in the world. When rotating the piece that this sticker is attached to, the image changes to show Harry with his parents. This effect is created by using a cool reflective material to show the two images, but in future recreations of the mirror, swappable pieces were used to give a similar, but in my opinion, significantly worse effect. I couldn't find any evidence that this material's ever been used again by LEGO, but if you have any information on this, please do let me know in the comments and we can let the YouTube hive mind do its thing. Okay, so back to the point of this video. As you may have guessed, this dual-sided head was the first of its kind and the only one produced in the year 2001. It was perfectly fit for purpose as well, showing the two characters in one body of Quirrell and Lord Voldemort, and it made for a chilling reveal and an excellent recreation of the scene in LEGO. At least, I think that's how the scene plays out in the books. Harry gets eaten by a spider, right? Yeah, something like that. Dual-sided heads continued to be produced in the following year, with the themes Studios and Star Wars joining the ranks in 2002. And side note, I think this mad scientist figure from that year features two of the most different faces on a minifigure that I know of, with absolutely no lore explanation as to why. One side is the clearly advertised scientist-style face from the front of the box, but the other is a much more animalistic and gruff face, and it gives him a mouth underneath the back of his hairline. The only thing I can think of is that it's a reference to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, a scientist with a dual personality, but again, let me know what you think. Now, for my own curiosity, and of course, now for your ears in this video, I had to look up the most expensive dual-sided heads available to purchase. Small disclaimer, okay, using Bricklink for pricing isn't an exact science, and some of the available pieces can be at a huge markup, yada yada yada. That being said, here's what I found. The most expensive dual-sided minifigure head at the moment is that of Ahsoka Tano from the set 75158 Rebel Combat Frigate, which its average sale price is set between £30 and £35. And that isn't massively reliable at the moment though, because its cost has likely been inflated with the recent hype around the Ahsoka Disney Plus series. So actually, I turn my sights to Lando Calrissian's 2017 and 2018 headpiece, which only appeared in 2 sets, and it costs about £25 on Bricklink. That's just for the head. You may have noticed, though, that both of these are Star Wars characters, a theme that's notorious for collectability within the LEGO community. And when the topic of rare Star Wars minifigures arises, one name almost always finds a mention: Finch Dallow. This character was only available briefly in a limited run of set 75188 Resistance Bomber, and his dual-sided head has sold in the past for an eye-watering £221. Imagine how much his arms cost. I can't even bear to look. There is, however, one more dual-sided head that beats Dallow's out by more than double his price. The head of Comic-Con 2012 exclusive Dark Phoenix Jean Grey. Try saying that with a mouthful. Now, with this figure being incredibly hard to come by, its head alone sold once in the last 6 months for, brace yourself, are you sitting down, £553. I think if I was looking in the mirror of Erised, that's probably what would be shown in it. Either that figure or just the money. I'll take the money, to be honest. So, since their introduction at the turn of the century, dual-sided heads have provided more play opportunities for LEGO fans, allowing them to transform scenes with no extra pieces required. They're so common now, actually, that sometimes it's hard to imagine a time before they were readily available. So I hope you've enjoyed this trip down memory lane with me. I've been Will from AFOL Anonymous. Leave a like if you learned something, and subscribe for more deep dives in the future. For now, though, Professor Quirrell is going back into my LEGO vault. I'll see you around, gang.